Hey guys, it is I, Kuroninja. It's been a while since I made a video about Metal Heroes. The last Metal Heroes video I made was 9 months ago when I talked about the most underrated character in Kyoju Tokusatsu Just Beyond. But after watching Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger, kinda reminded me of Metal Heroes. So in this video, I will be giving my thoughts on a Metal Hero series that I haven't watched. The third Metal Heroes and Space Sheriff season, Space Sheriff Shaider. Alright, so before we begin, I'd like to mention that I've never actually watched Shaider, so I might get some things wrong. One thing I do know is that Shaider isn't as popular as Space Sheriff Gavin or Space Sheriff Sharivan. Of course, Shaider still has its fans, but if you mention Space Sheriff Shaider, the titular character won't be the first thing that comes into their heads. You see, in the first two Space Sheriff seasons, the Space Sheriff would do most of the fighting and the action, but they also had a female sidekick whose main purpose was to provide fan service. But then in Space Sheriff Shaider, the roles were reversed, which made Annie the breakout star of the season and the one you probably remember the most if you watched Shaider a long time ago. Alright, now that I've talked about the protagonists of the series, let's talk about the villains. The villains of this season are an evil cult from another dimension known as Fuma. They worship this giant head, who you might recognize as one of the major villains in VR Troopers, but I never really watched VR Troopers either. Anyway, other than that, when it comes to the villains of Space Sheriff Shaider, there's not that much to talk about. Hold it right there, Kuroninja. I can't believe you're talking about the villains of Space Sheriff Shaider, but you didn't talk about the best villain of Space Sheriff Shaider. What do you mean, Kuroninja of Earth Zero? Who are the best villains of Space Sheriff Shaider that you're talking about? You know, Kuroninja. That team of 5 evil Kunoichi. Kunoichi? But the Hana Rangers appeared in Kaku Ranger. I wasn't talking about the Hana Rangers. I'm talking about another evil group of Kunoichi. And this group of Kunoichi, by the way, are better than the Hana Rangers. Oh, you want me to talk about... Okay, fine, I'll do it. In Space Sheriff Shaider, there was this team of Kunoichi, but it wasn't as flowery as the Kunoichi team from Ninja Sentai Kaku Ranger. And I hate to say this, but the Kuroninja of Earth Zero is kind of right. They are better than the flowery Kunoichi team, technically. This is because the flowery Kunoichi team didn't get that much screen time, but the Girls' Army appeared in almost every episode of Shaider. One thing I don't like about this group is that we don't know what their names are. All we know about them is what they look like and that there's 5 of them, and those 5 are referred to by their number. The leader of the group, who also has the most character development, is Girl 1. However, the Kuroninja of Earth Zero's favorite member of this group is Girl 3. Yeah, and by the way, Kuroninja, episode 45 of Space Sheriff Shaider is the worst episode of the whole season. If I could travel back in time, one of the first things I do is make sure that the events of Space Sheriff Shaider's 45th episode never happened. And then the next thing I do is, you know what, Kuroninja of Earth Zero, I already know what you're gonna say. No one wants to hear about your self-insert fanfiction, so just get out of here. And now, let's talk about something else that happens in Shaider. So anyway, like the other Metal Hero series, every episode until episode 43 has a Monster of the Week. This time it's the Fushigi Beasts, who are created in a ritual. The Fushigi Beasts are also themed after something based on the villain's evil plan. But whenever Shaider is close to defeating the Monster of the Week, he and the monster are sent to the Fushigi dimension. I have no idea what happens after that, but I think it's similar to the fight sequences in Space Sheriff Gavin. Overall, Space Sheriff Shaider sounds like a good series, but I don't know if I should watch it because I still have some queries. The Kuroninja of Earth Zero recommended the show for me, but he only watches it because of Girl 3. Anyway, that is all for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, I have nothing to do with Kuroninja.